Hey, oh, pretty party peoples. Not me double checking to make sure I actually made it, put us live.
I just spilled water on my shirt. It's a black shirt. It shouldn't be this obvious. And yet,
And
You're
yeah,
doing great. What do you mean my email hasn't been
I
verified?
should actually just dump it over my head. It's
there
so
you go.
fucking hot. If I soak the entire shirt, then no one will be able to tell.
Yeah, that's a good.
Right.
I've always thought that with like bleach.
Oh,
Like if I like get
do
a
a bleach
stain
job.
on something and
Yeah,
it's not a white shirt, I'm just like I can just bleach the entire shirt and it'll just be a different colored shirt now,
that is an option.
right?
I don't know if it worked very well.
I don't either.
But yeah, I think I've thought of doing that before.
Yeah, because it's like
And like, no, that shouldn't work. But
it shouldn't work.
I don't know why it shouldn't work.
Do we have any laundry experts?
Yeah.
Any laundry scientists in
If you bleach the entire shirt, you may actually
Disintegrate the shirt.
weaken the integrity of the threads of the shirt because
Okay, so now it's a shirt with holes and now it's just hot. Like
Now it's style.
yeah, like
I'm just letting you know the consequences of the actions. Also, depending on how you bleach it, bleach actually sort of like for a lot of fabrics will turn it a yellow, so you'll have like white spots with yellow brown going out. Again,
sounds
not
cool.
necessarily a deterrent, just letting you know. I have many towels with such spots from when I bleach clean the walls
Yeah.
that I can show you.
See, I'm thinking, yeah, the next time I stain a shirt, I just fully soak the entire shirt in bleach and I start something.
Hmm. I think like having a bleach wash shirt is a thing.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh, it's definitely a thing.
I know.
I'm gonna do it differently though.
It's like the cousin of acid wash.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
because I guess
It's like tie dye, but with
yeah,
bleach.
but with bleach.
Reverse tie dye.
Yeah,
Adding color to
dye
it.
tie.
What you gotta do is do like the tie dye like bands all over the shirt and then dunk it in the bleach.
I have seen
Yeah.
that. I had a friend who did that. They'd like bleach the spots, rinse it out, and then they'd put color on it, and that's how they like tie-dyed dark shirts.
I just put on my nails, hence the more amount of clacky than normal.
I wish I could take my fingernails off and on.
These are fake.
Right. No, I know that, but I was saying like my real ones. If I
Why
could
do you want
just,
to take them off?
I don't know. Sometimes I think it would be fun if the tips of my fingers were soft all the way around.
My dad,
As I was posting that we are live.
my dad is dropping my little brother off at the Baltimore airport, which we're north of Philly, so that's a really long drive. Baltimore's in Maryland. I think it's in the Maryland.
Yes,
I think it's in Maryland. And so he did that drive all the way down there because my little brother's flying to Germany for 2 weeks to stay with an exchange student that was at his school before, and they became friends. So now he gets to go to Germany for 2 weeks.
Now he is the exchange student.
Yeah. Well, it's not the exchange program. I think my little brother saved up and is paying for his own flight. But once he gets there, everything's like paid for by the other family. And so my dad's on his way back from the airport, and he's like ETA 10 p.m. and I'm like, oof.
What's really strange is that you are now the second friend of mine to have their little brother fly to Germany.
Specifically, their little
Like,
brother.
it's not that that's necessarily that strange, but like it's weird that that's happened twice in the last like 3 months. I've had someone be like, "Yeah, my little brother's flying to Germany."
That is weird.
Like,
Especially in a mask.
Little brothers.
yeah, like is Germany the little brother country now? Is that where they all go to? Am I supposed, as a little brother, am I supposed to be going to Germany?
Yeah, you're not.
You missed the memo, Matt.
to Germany.
Do I have plans? Do I have to go?
Yeah.
Tina said, "Is my little brother next?"
They've all
Maybe.
been communicating, except Matt.
Yeah, like, was I left
They know
out of the
Matt will
group
spill
chat?
the beans, so they can't trust him
Yeah.
with their secrets.
Matt's gotta be here because of his Matt Army. CB, can you say hi to people in chat while I post that we're live? Because I was dead when I was supposed to be posting this. So
RP says hi. Tina says hello, part people. Not all of us, only part of us.
I think it's that we're all parts of the stream.
Or it's just like my head, Sam's leg, and then your left arm.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, Tina, thank you. How did you know this is my favorite body part?
Jessica. All right. Jessica says hello, and Bella also says hello, hi, and asks how we're doing. A little tired. I had to wake Sam up for this. She fell asleep when we were watching.
What happened was we were watching the video and I was super tired. So I took my little happy ass to the couch and I got real cozy and I was like, if I fall asleep, she'll wake me up. But I didn't tell her that.
Just hear like snoring at the end when the video finished. And I texted her, I'm like, is that you or the dog? Because I've thought she's fallen asleep before, but it's actually just been the dog.
Yeah.
So I texted her and she responded. I'm like, it's Sam, not the dog. So I hung up.
I'll explain to everyone why I'm so tired in a little bit. But yes, so I fully, I set an alarm for 6:30, but I also fully believed in CB's ability to wake me up. She woke me up exactly, like, she wakes me up, and then my alarm starts going off. And I'm like, oh, yes, perfect timing. Only, I'm pretty sure I was dead set in the middle of a REM cycle because she wakes me up and my face is so tingly and I am just processing the world exists. And she's like, we have to stream at 30. And I'm like, okay, yeah. And she's like, do you want to stay in the call? And I'm like, no, I'm good. I got it. And I just hear the doubt in her voice. And she's like,
it's happened before.
I'm like, yeah, it's fine.
The doubt is source. Hi, Storm.
I'm not saying it was sourceless. I had 3 missed calls from you on multiple apps. So you worked to wake me up. I saw that.
But RPS is asking how the con went. Oh, just to Sam.
Yeah, just to me. CB was there too, by the way. It was great. Yeah, I do believe that I overdid it and my body held it together until I got home because I felt fine. I was great for the most part, except, normal kind of morning nausea bullshit and some. I forgot to account the time zone in my medicine routine, so that did fuck with me a little bit, but it was fine. But yeah, but then I got home and my sinuses drained as if they just remembered they existed after being frozen in time for years. Because my throat every day when I woke up this week until, or since I've got home, so it's been a week. Tomorrow it will have been a week since I got home. And every day my throat was just I felt like somebody, a little gnome was in there scraping at it with a rake until Saturday it stopped feeling that way. Now it's just mildly sore, and now my nose is definitely giving the final signs of sinus is drained. Now we're a little stuffy.
I'm still on the tail end of my sinus infection, so I have that right here that discomfort.
And as of 2 nights ago, so last night would have been the second night. When I lay down to go to bed, the inside of my ears have started hurting, which definitely still connected to all the sinus issues. So that's why I was exhausted. Why I'm still tired is because it's really hard for me to sleep if my ears hurt.
All right. Bella says it was nice seeing us.
Yes, it was.
You too. It was different seeing you in person versus like the little pictures, all the impression that we have of what your face looks like, and like a couple pictures over the years. But
I felt so bad because I had just restocked the Berserk, and CB can attest to this. The Berserk boxes are heavy as fuck. And every time I finish restocking them, my brain needs like a full 5 minutes before it fully reboots. I don't know. That's not a universal thing. That's a me and migraines and fatigue thing, for the record. Mm-hmm. Because like the boxes are 20 something pounds, and
I just picked up one book at a time.
You say one book at a time?
Yeah. Instead of grabbing the box of like 8 books, I just grab like 2 books a month.
There's so many more trips.
You got to Berserk. You didn't do the Berserk until after I had already sold like 5 cases of boxes.
Yeah, it wasn't the rush. It was just later. I was like, was not having the same experiences.
No. Okay, so what I would have to do, because I had to keep checking the restock to see what we did and didn't have in stock.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time you got to the Berserk, I had like minimized our stock down to like 4 boxes plus some box ones. But yeah, no, either way, they're like 20-pound boxes. I was moving a shit ton of them around. And I need like 5 minutes to catch my breath and for my brain to start reprocessing. Again, though, that's like not a general, that's just me because of how like my chronic fatigue and my brain fog play together. And Bella comes up and she's like, hi. And my brain, I'm like, yes, that is Bella. But my body is catching up to my brain. And so Bella's just looking at me and she goes like, Bella? And I'm like, yes, I recognize you.
I know who you are.
I was like, yeah. I didn't have the mental like presence at the time to be like, give me a moment before I can person again. But yeah, we talked a little. I directed her to CB, and then Bella came back on the last day to say hi and stuff, but we were like super busy.
Sam, are you like, is something near your mic, or is that mine?
It sounded like a car driving by.
That would be the car way out there.
Driving by. Look how accurate that is. All right. Tina did not know that Baltimore was in Maryland. That's okay, Tina. We were joking about finding my little brother wants to study. He's thinking about studying marine biology, and so we were looking at marine biology schools, looking at Canada, because and it was a example of how we do not know Canadian geography at all. I was like, I started listing off things it was near because I was looking at a map and everyone's like, oh. And my little brother was like, oh, that's in Newfoundland, if I'm saying that right. And my dad's like, no, it's not. And I'm like, I got no idea. It was in Nova Scotia, which is not at all.
Well, they both start with N, so I understand the confusion.
Yeah. Okay, so, yeah. Hi, Nikki. Nikki says hi.
Matt and Tina's little brother are next. They're going to go together.
Yeah.
Also, we had a coworker named Matt, and the second day he worked, he wore a shirt that was Matt's signature pink.
Poser.
He was also vaguely like beanpole. It was
stretchy,
beanpole, but still a beanpole.
Yeah.
Hello, Phil.
Hey, Felicia.
Oh, I checked.
Okay.
That was the no to the Concrud. RP didn't realize that anyone else was doing stuff. Europe for a Taylor Swift concert. I was in Europe Swift concert before I went to the con. I've been like home for like 3 weeks of like the 12 weeks of summer I've had, so not 12 weeks, but I've barely been home this summer.
Like every other week she's been gone.
Yeah, and then there was like 3 weeks where I was just gone the entire time. Or
I
got,
will say
4 hours.
one of my favorite post-con messages I saw in like the internet family chat was CB telling Chris and Fox, "I understand now why Sam is in such a funk after
I
convention."
slept for 21 hours when I got home. I was like, oh, I'll go take a nap because it was my mom's birthday the day I got home, and we were going to go out to dinner. So I was like, oh, I'll take a nap before dinner. It was like 1 o'clock. I think Matt froze, or he's holding.
No,
up.
I'm just stunned that you slept for 21 hours.
Yeah, so I went to bed like 1:30. I like considered playing on my phone, but I just like fell asleep. And then I woke up the next day at like noon or like 10 a.m. or something like that. So yeah, so maybe it was a little more than 21 hours. Apparently my dad had come upstairs and like turned on the lights and been like, hey, and like, you know, touched my shoulder and stuff, and nothing. But I like didn't wake up. Like I didn't take like a bathroom trip or anything during the night, or like be restless and then decide to go back to sleep. No, it was just like straight sleep. And I woke up and I was like, wow, I feel better than I did yesterday. That was a good nap, but it wasn't a
really
nap.
good nap.
It was a day.
She's like, yeah, I'm ready to go to dinner. Her family's like, that was yesterday.
It's lunchtime. So yeah, little bit of a crash there.
One time as a kid, I definitely didn't sleep for 21 hours, but I was just really tired for whatever reason, and I took a nap at like 5 or something, and I didn't wake up until like 9, and because I had like been sick or something.
Yeah.
And I like go downstairs, and my mom was just like, "Oh yeah, like we wanted you to get your rest, so we didn't wake you up." And I was so upset because I'm like, "But I missed dinner." And she's like, "I'll make you food." I'm like, "But dinner."
I don't understand.
Yeah, it's not the first time where I've slept in the high teens, especially with migraines and stuff, because my body's response is just go to sleep. But I really do hit 20+ hour mark. That is a rarity. Not out of the question. I have done it multiple times in the past couple of years, but usually it's some restlessness within rather than just a full-on power off. So
I think my record in one sitting or laying is like 13 or it's only like 13 or 14 hours.
That's like
I will say like CB and I had also on top of the convention, our travel home was kind of rough. Because we, in order to stay an extra day, like the boss got us a hotel so that we could stay an extra night and just kind of have a girls' day in LA, which meant our flights left at like 11 p.m. on Monday.
Midnight, because mine got delayed. Mine originally scheduled for like 11:50, and then I got delayed by like an hour.
Yeah. It was funny because like we were supposed to leave with like 30 minutes of each other, and then my flight got delayed. And we were like, oh, okay, so maybe we'll actually leave at the same time. And then her flight got delayed, and yeah.
Also, we went through security. We went through security together, and then like early to the airport so we could hang out by Sam's terminal. And then like 2 hours before her flight left, I was like, oh, let me look how far my terminal is away. But in the LA airport, you have to leave like the airport and take this like roundabout thing.
Okay, so the airport is like, it's divided into 2 sides. So I think if your terminal had been in the same side as mine, it would have been fine. But your terminal was on the other half, which is why you had to do that.
We were in 5 and I needed to go to 1, and it was like a whole thing to get back.
I think my side had 4 through 7 or something like that.
Yeah.
And the other one had 1 through 3. So yeah, she had to go through security twice.
Which sucked.
Brutal.
But
And it's like,
yeah,
the
then I had
security one was so much more intense than the security one through with Sam. For some reason, it was just they were really stressed over there, and you could feel it in the air. And I was like,
they were like they probably wanted to get off their shift. They were like, I'm ready. Let me go home.
like 10:30 or something at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, 10:30. That sounds around the time a shift exchange would occur. But yeah, so and then we both had layovers. Thankfully, my layover wasn't as long because my first flight was delayed. So, you know.
Yeah, my layover was like 20 minutes. Almost
Yeah.
It was getting to the point where it's getting stressful how small it was.
Yeah.
But my airplane, so I was gonna sleep on the plane, right? I had a window seat. Like it's a 3.5 hour. Like I could get a solid nap in.
I had a
And
middle.
that plane was so fucking cold. It was like 40 degrees in there. I was shivering.
What's up with planes being
chattering.
so cold?
I am confused as to why this isn't common knowledge. I had a blanket. Like, see, we can attest this. I had a blanket.
Yeah, planes are usually kind of chilly, but no, I was wearing long pants. Like I was actively, like my teeth were chatting. Like I'm not joking. I was like,
she bought herself a sweater for her next
during my layover. I bought myself. Luckily, it was only like $25. But I have a sweatshirt that says Michigan on it because during my layover I bought it and I was like, oh, was this stupid? Because Sam doesn't want to be here. She thinks me buying a plane was stupid. Or a sweatshirt, not a plane.
You're buying a plane. You go, I'm going to be the change I want to see in the world. I'm going to buy a warm plane.
Yeah. We did not make enough at the convention to buy a plane.
No.
No, it's every time I move my thing, I jar the USB for my camera.
And so I get on the next plane, and it's not an overnight flight. Like it's just a really or it's now like 6 a.m. So it's just a really early morning rather than a red eye. And I hear one of the flight attendants go, blah, blah, blah. He said he's turning on the heat. And I was like, I just wasted my money now because if they're turning on the heat, I have this sweatshirt. And then it was super fucking cold again. And I was like, oh, okay, this is the best purchase I've made in a while. So yeah, now I have a really big sweatshirt. And it wasn't a thick sweatshirt. So I was still kind of chilly, but it wasn't really as bad. So it was fine. I got naps on that, and then I was so tired where when I woke up on that flight, I kept falling asleep again. And I was like actively having to I was blasting music, and I was like, this isn't helping. Like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I have to go do things because I thought I was taking the train home until I booted up my phone. And my dad's like, I'm 20 minutes away. And I was like, oh my God. I don't have to think anymore and be like aware of my surroundings. Just like calling my dad, and then I'm good.
My mom and my sister picked me up. Was it my mother or my grandmother? Oh, sorry, it was my grandmother and my sister picked me up from the airport, and I, like, in my grandma's car, so I buckled in, and then I grabbed from her back seat, because I knew she would have them. There were a bunch of blankets, so I put, like, one right under my side, so I could, like, lay over my seatbelt.
Yeah.
And then I used another one as a pillow, and then I just cuddled up, and I'm sitting there trying to sleep. And my grandmother and my sister are asking me questions about the convention and like our girls' day, and I'm sitting there like, they came to pick me up. I suppose I can regale them. And then
I got that burst of like extroverted energy. Like my dad and I were on the same wavelength when I got in the car. We just started talking, and I like talked the whole way, like 45-minute drive home.
That was also the funny thing. Like CB and I, we were both fully awake. We were good. We were energized. We're like watching Blue Lock. We're watching the soccer boys and everything. And then she leaves. And after she left, I'm sitting there like, oh God, why am I so tired? We need to get on the plane so I can sleep. And then CB messages me and she's like, why am I so tired all of a sudden? And I'm like, no, we were in an extrovert loop. Now you've left. So Jessica calls that con crash. When you see, I know it as con crud. Like that's like the actual term. If you like look that up, like
Yeah,
Google
yes.
and Urban Dictionary and stuff. It's like it's the term with con crud where after a convention you crash and you feel sick. Like you may have a cold, you may have the flu or not, but either way, you feel terrible. I haven't had con crud so bad since like my first con.
And for anyone that wasn't aware, I had a sinus infection before, like 2 weeks before or a week and a half before. And so I was still taking antibiotics like at the beginning of the trip, like in the beginning of the con. And so I was waking up in like the 5 hours that we slept every night. I was waking up for like a half an hour every night and just hacking up a lung and then feeling bad about it because we're sharing a room with so many people. I'm like, I'm so sorry for waking you guys up.
I slept through that. Well, like it's funny because I was asleep when you were like hacking and stuff, but then I'd be awake if you were. So,
Needs the white noise.
The boss was like, "Are you okay? You woke me up with your coughing," and I'm like, "I'm sorry, I was trying to breathe."
yeah.
It was an actively.
That's okay, Bella. It was nice seeing you. Hey, Laura.
Okay.
I assume this was Newfoundland and Nova Scotia.
On the Google map, though, the Newfoundland, I don't know how to pronounce it, is like up here, the little like name of it.
Is it? I thought it was Newfoundland. Like
I believe it's Newfoundland.
Oh, okay.
I think
it's pronounced like kind of pushed together, but I could be wrong.
You're supposed to like kind of mumble it, I think.
Yeah, you have to say it quietly and quickly.
Newfoundland.
You have to go like, yeah, and then I was up in
place. Oh, what'd you name it?
It's
Newfoundland. I was like, oh, Newfoundland? No. How do you spell it?
You have to say it kind of covering your mouth a little bit and looking down.
Yeah.
Tina,
Bella said she was exhausted just being an attendee. She couldn't imagine what your drop after the expo was.
If I'm still living nearby next year, I definitely want to go as an attendee. And it shouldn't, if I restrain myself with buying stuff, it shouldn't be that expensive because like the 4-day pass, from what I could tell, was like $150. And then you can go into a bunch of the panels and stuff for free. And that's what I'm most interested in, is the panels and like the industry people. Not as much the buying merch because I can buy stuff whenever.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Tina said, once as a kid, I had a fever and slept 26 hours.
At what point
which
does it cross over into a short coma?
I think that's the point. Once you hit 24 hours, that's
24 hours, it's now
after 24 hours, you have a minor coma. I will say, like, I used to only ever sleep 4 to 6 hours, period. And except when I was pregnant. And that actually started to become a sign that like we knew by the second or third pregnancy was when I actually started sleeping more than 7 hours. And now it's just migraine. LA airport sucks. I'm so sorry you had to go through that. Compared to other airports I've been in, it wasn't that bad. And like if CV and I hadn't decided to, not part.
Yeah. That's what made it fun. Because once I left the terminal, I went down. I was trying to get back out to where the buses were. And I went down like 3 floors in one escalator because you couldn't get off at the one floor. And then I had to go back up. And then I went back down again. I kept being pointed in different directions. But it was fine. It was fine.
This is what a parent does once the child's been sleeping more than 10 hours.
Apparently, when I was a baby, I used to sleep for like a lot. At least this is what I've been told. Every time I say stuff about me being a baby and I live at home or I'm at home, I expect one of my parents to come in and be like, actually.
I
heard that I slept for like 21 hours a lot when I was a baby.
Welcome, Bruce 91. We will be going into our first sprint soon.
Yes.
It is, as always expected, the first stream after a convention or a trip. The first sprint is delayed. Hey, yo.
I feel left out.
The less you pronounce it, the more local you sound. So it's like Newfoundland.
So we're right. It's Newfoundland.
Yeah, it's Newfoundland.
Newfoundland. That's how we're saying it now.
the only panel I went to is the Solo Leveling panel, and I really like Solo Leveling. I read the comic a couple years ago. I never finished it because I caught up to it, and I've been watching the anime and rereading the comic at the same time, just like compare it. Like I'll finish an episode and
As
then
one
go
do.
through those chapters. So I'm really excited to wait. I really enjoyed that panel, and this was my first ever convention, so. Yeah.
I did not go to any panels because that requires a lot of walking.
It does.
I don't.
I got like 11,000 steps every day. I'm still wearing the brace from the riding retreat because my I'm not
She's still injured.
to recover. I haven't wearing
like it was kind of funny, right? This is related, but also not. I'm getting our timer while I share this. So there would be weirdly specific trends amongst people. Like 2 or 3 of us went to the bathroom twice very quickly, and like for me, I just started my period and I hadn't realized it, so I needed to, pad. But the boss was like giving us wrap up instructions for the day, and I'm like, yeah, let me just go back to the bathroom real quick, and then like when I come back I'll get that done. And he was like jokingly, he goes, man, what is it? He's like, did you all sync up? Are you guys on your period? And I'm like, well, I am. And then somebody else went, yeah, me too. And he goes, well, I didn't actually mean it, but and then and then it was CB and 1 or 2 other people who hurt their ankle during the weekend, or their ankle was sore over the weekend. And he's like,
I thought they were talking about past cons where they've hurt their ankles, but not this con. I thought I was the only one this con where I hurt my ankle.
No, it was after the second day of setup. Somebody was talking about how their ankle was sore. And your ankle was sore.
Yeah.
And then I think someone else mentioned that they usually have a sore ankle.
Yeah, a sore ankle is kind of my default state at this point.
It is.
Like that's my factory settings, so it's not.
I forgot what I was looking for. Because factory settings got me good, and I don't know why.
Bella also loves Solo Leveling. Yeah. And didn't get any panels. Aw. Hope to go to none next year. Bella walked 5.5 miles second day of the expo. Wow.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I did like 11,000 or something every day. And I was like in a chair for a lot of it. Like I was purposely not straining my ankle so that I could keep, existing.
All right. Excuse me. Who wants to count us down?
I would love to.
Thank you.
3,
Oh shit.
Yoo-hoo.
Ooh, fixing the blowout.
I decided to read one of my new books that I bought, which was Most Oddly, which is a Pride and Prejudice retelling. It's queer, it's gay and trans, knows, where it's Oliver Bennett, not Elizabeth Bennett. So the second eldest Bennett sibling, so the main character of Pride and Prejudice, is trans, and his name's Oliver. And I'm like 27 pages in, so I just started on stream. And I'm really enjoying it. Actually, it's quite well written.
Okay. Yeah, well, my favorite thing we did was go to the Ripped Bodice. I was so excited. I was vibing.
Yes.
I was reading not a book I got from the Ripped Bodice, but book 3 in the Keisha series by Amelia Atwater Rhodes, which I read this book series as a teeny bopper. And Wolf Cry, which is book 4, is actually the first queer novel I ever read. So it was.
Oh,
are you giving me that look? Yeah, when I was a teeny bopper.
Okay, for a second I thought you meant you just read the first queer novel you've ever read. And I'm like so confused. She reads a lot of comics, but
CB's like, I'm pretty sure I've heard her talk about gay stuff she's read before. No, so the Keisha series is, well, Amelia has been one of my favorite authors since I was like 12 or 13. And her Den of Shadows series is like it's got vampires mostly, vampires, witches, and other stuff. And then the Keisha series technically takes place in the same universe, but like centuries before in the past. And it's about shifters, but like avian, shifters, and snake. The like 3 main kinds are avian, snake, and then falcon. Yes, I know what you're thinking. How are the falcons different than the birds? But like apparently, I don't see. It's been like over 15 years since I've read these books, so I've got a weird mix of future knowledge and what I'm actually reading, and I'm only halfway into the series. But so the like origin of the avian shifters is different from the origin of the hawk and the serpiente. And the hawk and the falcon, sorry, not hawk, the falcon and serpiente share a magical origin. So they are like more closely tied that way than the avians and the falcons. But like some drama happened, and so the falcons were like kicked out off of mainland Egypt, I think, and they live on their own little floating island of magic and terror. So
magic and terror.
Yeah, like literally two characters. They were like, we would rather be exiled. Like, let us live in exile. We don't want to go back. And I really love this series. Well, the general basis of the series is, first off, for some other context, Amelia is not a romance writer. They don't write romance. Hawk Song is literally their only book that I know of that even has romance as a subgenre. So, but in like, so the avian and the serpiente have been like at war for so long, nobody even remembered how it started. But Danica, our lovely Tulithe, which is the leader of the bird peoples, and then Zane, our lovely Cobra Man, who is the leader of the Serpiente, decide that they're, thanks to the great wisdom of the tiger shifters, that they'll get married to prove to their people that they really want peace, damn it. And like it works out. The series, it's like a really short series, like all the books, like this is book 3 and
It's so teeny.
Oh.
But it does focus a bit on like the politics and the cultural like issues between them and how they like try to merge them and stuff. And like when Danica ends up pregnant in book 2 and stuff, the serpents are like, oh well, that's nice, but the prince, whom is Zane's nephew, like that's gonna be our actual next leader, like not this bird snake thing. Zane's like, excuse the fuck out of you. No. But then it's also like, because the cultures are so different, they're like, well, how are we going to raise the kid? Like, because in the snake culture, they're like very integrated. They're like, family is really important, being close and being open emotionally and everything. So, but like in the bird people culture, they're like, yeah, no, we slap them on a protector and then they kind of get raised by the community, like the little nannies and the nursery and stuff. And so Zane's like, I don't want to raise my daughter like a bird, because basically to him that means that he would have no relationship with his daughter at all. But then Danica's like, well, I get you, but also, hon, like, you got a backup heir. Like, it's just me and my mama. And he's like, But they do talk. One of the things I like is that Danica and Zane don't really do the whole miscommunication thing. They got to learn to communicate with each other, but once they do, they're really good at it. So
I have a question.
Yeah.
Do they lay eggs?
That is a great question.
Both snakes and
no,
birds.
because they are human, sort of. Because that's another thing that comes up, because like the mom, hella racist against the snakes, but she's all like, I didn't even know that you could have kids together. And Zane's like, I guess we're both human enough that it works. But like, yeah, they were like both of their species were human in origin, and then magic gave them their animal form.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, do they know
human.
what humans are? Are there just normal humans walking around?
Yeah, they're normal humans. They just don't interact with them. They stay hidden from humans. But like, so yeah, conception and birth and everything, purely mammal. But like once the babies are born, yeah, the babies can shift into snakes, because like Zane's talking to his sister, and like the book describes while he's talking to her little like infant, it goes from being like a baby to being a snake to try to slither out of her grasp. But she's like, no, she's just momming that kid into place. Which is the other thing. I really like how the way that Amelia writes the shifter cultures in the world is just so chef's kiss. Well, yeah, so my Falcon boy, we're on generation 2 at the moment. Oh, because yeah, book 1 and book 2 is basically kind of like we're trying to be at peace and we're going to figure out how to merge the culture, and they create Wyvern's Court, which is in between the 2 kingdoms, as sort of like this will literally be like the middle ground so that people can start getting used to mixing the cultures and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And then the baby that is born, she is called a wyvern.
A wyvern?
I don't actually know how you're supposed to pronounce
Oh,
it.
it is a different word. Is it the W-Y-V?
Yes.
Okay.
Since there's such a heavy Egyptian influence in here, I think, oh god, which one? Wajat? There's an Egyptian god that's basically like a feathered serpent. And I think that's like the basis for the inspo.
That's cool.
Wajat. Yeah.
I'm playing with wax.
Do you just have a tub of wax?
It was a candle that I just blew out. But now I have wax to play with, so.
Who's really winning?
Me.
We know.
Yes. So I think this is like the inspo for.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I am going to have to leave in like a couple minutes to go downstairs and grab my chicken tenders out of the oven.
That's okay.
I realized last sprint that I was really fucking hungry, and I'm still really hungry, and I'm trying not to eat all of the candy sitting on my desk.
But I mean, that's what it's for.
Is
I
it?
also will let everybody
Yeah,
know.
candy
I'm
should always be
probably-
consumed in one sitting.
I'm probably gonna close this down early just so I can get some more rest. I didn't want to like completely close the stream down, but it's real hard to talk.
Well, you can just shut up then. Matt,
I'm hiding.
So rude.
I didn't even get through it.
CB's getting in trouble. I'm gonna go hide.
RP said, same CB, once I got out the military, everything was always sore, even if I'm not doing anything.
Not quite at that level.
Bruce91 said, I have cerebral palsy, so I know what it's like to have sore legs, ankles, and feet all the time. It's not nice, but I'm hoping for a surgery soon to make life easier. I hope that goes really well for you.
Me too.
My calves were still sore. I think today may be the first day they're not sore.
When Sam and I were on the way to the airport, or when we were doing our girls' day or whatever, I took a step. It was at the airport. I stepped out of the shuttle and my ankle went like that. And my ankle's, this is the other ankle, mind you. There's the ankle I was wearing in a brace all weekend, or week. And then there's the other ankle. That ankle like bent out a little bit. And it's fine, but it's a little sore. You okay, Matt?
Yeah, just joints shouldn't be floppy.
No. And they should be more secure. I feel like I should be walking around with like braces on all of my joints at all times to prevent injury. Like my tendons aren't, or whatever the medical term, aren't keeping things in place. They keep moving and hurting.
They're like a 7-din
Yeah. Sure.
So,
instead of a 10.
226 words for that sprint and a lot of staring into space. I ended up editing about 2.5 pages. Nice. Tina's power went out for a bit, but I have pulled a OMG work on. Woot. Currently reading The Cut by George Pelecanos, who was one of the main writers on the TV series The Wire. Sweet. I got in just in time for that last spring. Got a good start on my Hamlet homework. Nice. I'm powering through the poetry on my school reading list this year. Gotta love being a senior. I believe in you. Are we high school senior? College?
Yeah, are you high school or college? I was like, yeah, same. But I was like, wait, maybe not same.
Also, so glad this stream popped up for me. I was in such a mood and really needed one to get me through tonight. Well, we are glad you're here too. I don't remember, but the animal people are humans, but like evolved. They're like not evolved, just magically altered.
For the record, when I saw that message from Chris first pop up, the IDR, my brain computed as I don't read, but
I also read that as I don't read.
you did.
Yeah. But
You've
speaking
actually
of
declared your husband illiterate.
speaking of Hamlet,
English major.
Oh, I just realized I didn't. Hold on, I'm almost done. I promise. But I was getting to the queer part, right? So, Eliza, the wyvern, she's like, there's a lot of pressure as to is she gonna get a snake man or a bird man, right?
I can't
And
remember.
before she says neither, and she goes and gets her a wolf lady.
That's
I'm
fair.
like,
I don't remember if you described this on stream before. You definitely described the plot to me. I'm like, this sounds really familiar. Oh wait, Matt, what were you saying?
I read book 1 and 2 last week, so.
I was saying, speaking of Hamlet,
Yeah.
I didn't technically make it, but I had the best sandwich today. It was 10-grain bread, right? Grilled
Okay.
chicken, prosciutto, avocado, arugula, basil, cucumber, oil, and vinegar.
That does sound like a really good.
Mwah.
Where you can get a really
On that
good
note, I'm gonna go
sandwich.
get my dinner.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
will in a couple
enjoy.
minutes.
You know where you can get a really good sandwich in LA? The Little Gourmet. That's where we went.
Yeah, just like
'Cause
prosciutto and the avocado and the arugula. Just,
well, make me a sandwich, Matt.
I would that I could. Would that
Drive
I
it down here.
It's so soggy by the time I get it to you.
No, you gotta like bring the ingredients and then make it here so that it's
Instructions were unclear. Here's your liquid sandwich. I didn't wrap it in anything. It was just loose on my passenger seat.
What? You're disturbing my reading.
I don't eat sandwiches too often, but sometimes I do, and I'm just like, yeah, like this should happen more often.
I'm thinking of sacrificing my cat.
For a sandwich?
Maybe.
Sam, you can't eat the cat.
I don't want to eat her. I just want her to leave me alone. No, I promised my youngest I would no longer make jokes about eating the cats. She in fact got upset at me for that a couple times.
Oh.
And I'm like, baby, and then I made a joke. I wasn't even joking at her. Like, I had stopped joking to her about it, but I would still joke to my oldest about it and stuff because he knew it was joking. You know, he didn't care. But my youngest just doesn't like hearing them at all. So she was like, she made me promise not to. So I can't in her presence anyway.
Yeah.
Matt and I made great sandwiches during the cabin stay at the retreat, including my first microwave bacon.
Those were very good sandwiches. And yeah, for those watching at home, in a pinch, you can microwave bacon and it works. You just need a lot of paper towels to soak up that grease.
It was so funny because, like, you were doing that, and I think everyone else was surprised.
Yeah, everyone was like, what are you doing? And I'm like, trust me.
I was just like, I know this is a thing that can be done. I know.
Yeah, if you look at the package, there's even instructions for like how to do it.
It's just.
And don't get me wrong.
I'll ingest my radiation in other ways.
Yeah, and it's better if you don't microwave it. But sometimes
100%.
But sometimes you want bacon and you don't want to do a dish.
I forgot, and I said that. So, like, somebody was like, but it's better if you cook it. And you were like, yeah, I'm not arguing that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But sometimes I don't want to wash a skillet. Sometimes I don't want to be like, oh, I can't dump the bacon grease down the sink, but I'm renting now, so I totally can. And it's like, just microwave it.
If you do, make sure that you have hot water on when you dump and some Dawn dish soap.
Hey, not my sink.
No, but you still got to use it.
Yeah. Yeah, I have an issue with my stove right now, and I put in a maintenance request, and I put in the thing. They were like, can we come into your place when you're not home? And I was like, well, no, I'd like for that to not happen. And they put a thing on my door today that was like, hey, we came here to do maintenance, but you weren't home, so we left. And I was like, have you thought about scheduling? Have you thought about being like, hey, when are you home so we can come work on this? So I have to call the renter's office tomorrow and be like, hey, have you heard of an email?
Check your email first. Make sure they can't be like,
yeah.
We sent you one.
If they do that, I go, all right, here's 3 months rent. It's only fair.
I don't know if it's a common thing, but it is a thing that no one, I think me and Matt were the only ones poor enough to know about. Because that definitely has that feel of
it has struggle energy for sure.
It's a struggle meal energy.
I've had microwave bacon. If you have other options, please take them.
Look,
but
sometimes you don't want to do a dish.
You still gotta do a dish.
No, you don't.
No, what are you putting the bacon on?
The paper plate.
Paper plate, paper napkin.
Checkmate. Throw things away when you're done with them.
My mom.
Let's give it up for landfills.
My mom, rightly so, is concerned about my ability to do dishes because I hate doing dishes. At one point, she's like, if you can't do dishes, just get paper plates because this is not okay. And I'm like, fair. This is not okay. I'm sorry.
No,
Not
and
gonna lie. I was talking to a social worker, and we were talking about dishes and stuff, and I was talking about with my chronic migraines, and they were like, honestly, paper plates. They're like, no one is gonna judge you.
Yeah.
They're like if that's an issue, like disposable, your best friend.
I currently, though, I neither own a microwave nor paper towels at the moment. Or no, I do own paper towels, paper plates. I don't have paper plates.
When did you move?
Like a month ago, month and a half. I have regular plates, just not paper
remember,
ones.
we were very concerned about him because he had to. Well, we thought that you had to be fully moved in before you got to the writing retreat.
Yeah.
But no, you just had to be moved out.
Yeah, I had to be moved out. I didn't necessarily have to be moved in. So yeah, I was in transition when I went on the writing retreat. But yeah, it's one of those, like, I don't have a microwave right now, and I'm like, it's maybe. I mean, I definitely have plans to buy a microwave eventually.
I'm like, is there space for a microwave or?
Yeah, I have a dedicated space for it.
Okay.
And I'm gonna buy one eventually. It's just one of those. It's like not a priority thing, and I've spent so much money on furniture in the last month, so microwave gets put on hold for a little bit.
You gotta send me pictures of how the beach theme will turn out.
Do what?
The beach theme that you're planning for your apartment?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. If you have a chance, send me pictures.
Yeah, I will, because it's pretty much put together. I just have everything. The only exception is right now my TV is just leaning against the wall rather than like on something.
Yeah.
Because buying surfaces expensive.
Just get the arm mount.
Wall mount?
Oh, wall mount?
Yeah.
I was thinking about doing a wall mount, but my current plan.
Also expensive.
That's kind of where I was, because like to buy a wall mount was going to be like $50. And so I'm like, I was like, I will just buy like a entertainment center / bookshelf, because my current bookshelf is a little too big for my bedroom. So I was like, I'm gonna get something for the living room that can both serve two purposes: place to put the TV on, as well as to serve as a bookshelf.
My TV and wall mount combo was my little brother's before he decided to buy himself like a ginormous TV. And he's like, oh, I was just gonna like, I don't know what his plan was for it, but I was like, I'll take it. It's hooked up to my computer. Like,
yeah,
the displays are very similar sizes, which is very funny because with the rearrange my room, now they're both pointing the same direction.
Yeah.
So I'm like, this is slightly redundant, but that one's higher quality and it's up there.
Yeah.
Or maybe this one's higher. Actually, I don't know.
Who knows?
That one's slightly bigger, and it's up there.
Yeah, it's up there.
There's lines through this monitor. I don't know what happened to it. Sitting peacefully on my desk, I booted it up one day, and there's lines on it. Not like, I mean, they're very clear, but like, it's clearly something in the circuitry. I don't know.
It really is, Bella. Purchasing services.
And like for a while there, I was like, oh, I'm gonna find something at a garage sale, or I'll find something on Facebook Marketplace. But I just could not find what I was looking for. Everything was just not quite right. So I was like, all right, screw it. I'm just gonna buy something. Which tomorrow is Amazon Prime Day, and I have something in my cart, so I'm gonna see if it goes down tomorrow, and if it does, I'm gonna buy it.
You can also, well, I don't know if your state does it, but tax-free weekend is the 26th through the 28th.
I don't know if we do
So you
that.
can check that out.
Yeah.
See if he looks confused.
I built this today.
She did.
The frame.
Okay, I was like, the wall?
Yeah,
No.
she built the whole wall.
Oh yeah, this is all me.
Nice.
Today. I stained it, like cut it, I stained it, put it
Wow.
together. My dad helped a little bit because I slightly measured the first time.
Yeah.
So I was not using the best tools. And he kept being like comforting me about it, and I'm like, it's okay. I'm not emotionally invested in how like half-assed I did this.
Yeah.
But I appreciated the Talk through.
Tina had to get an entire new table for the sewing machine she bought herself for her birthday, but it was only $15.
Nice.
I'm
Yeah, thankfully, I
excited.
was gifted a kitchen table.
I'm excited. Oh, excuse me. I'm excited to see what you will do with that new table, Tina. Also, CB, you got me in trouble with my child.
With a child?
Yes. I asked my youngest, I was like, do we have any cough drops left in the cough drop cauldron? And she said, no, we're out. And then she goes, but you have some in your purse. And I was like, no, I gave those to CB. And she's like, why would you do that? Now you have no cough drops. I was like, I didn't need them. And she's like, well, and now you do.
The child wants me to cough.
Yeah.
Well,
The child says, CB can suffer.
After I explained that you had a sinus infection and needed the cough drops, and my throat did not hurt until 2 days later, she sighed that exasperated sigh. You know the sigh. And she goes, I guess.
Damn.
But yes, you got me in trouble.
I feel like I'm being
So-
disappointed as not worth it more than you getting in trouble.
Okay, wait. Just so everyone knows, I have a mix of like young person and old lady purse vibes.
Mm-hmm.
And in my purse, especially when I go to conventions, I carry a small plastic baggie of assorted cough drops. Most of them are color coded, but for some reason the like default halls and the honey lemon are almost the same color. So good luck figuring out which one you're grabbing.
I know.
I'm telling the universe. I know you got the bag.
It was
Well,
rough.
I gave him CB before she went to her terminal. She was like, hey, can I have like some cough drops? And I just tossed her the whole bag because, as I said, my throat was fine. I did not need any, and I was like, either I have more at home or I'll just buy some more when I get home, especially since I was out of the strawberry and cream ones anyway, so I wanted to buy more of those. Those are always the first ones to go because they're red, so they're very noticeably different. But yeah, then as previously mentioned, the day after we landed, my throat decided to wreak vengeance upon me, and my daughter was very sassy about me giving away my bag of cough drops.
I
Maybe
like.
I'll sell a new tablecloth. Nice.
I was gonna ask about the sewing machine, but I'm like, I don't know enough about sewing machines.
So to be fair, I meant the sewing machine. I was just trying to clear my throat. So I think by the time I got my throat cleared, I forgot what my sentence was.
Well, also in your defense, with the
Yes.
sewing machine, I mean, it's in the name. You're going to sew with it. A table could be used for anything.
It's for the sewing machine.
Yeah.
I have a sewing machine in
I
this
tried.
drawer.
And you failed.
Yeah.
Where's my money belt?
Money belt?
I have my own money belt for when I work conventions, but I forgot to wear it.
Oh.
I was like, he's not gonna like that. You took it home. It's worse than
He
taking it
gave
back
me
to
this
the
one.
house.
He gave me this one. So I had gotten a black one, but then like I went to work at convention and I saw the blue one and I'm like, oh, the blue one's so much nicer. So he was like, here. He gave me the blue one. So technically,
I
we
remember when I was
traded.
wearing the black one because I wear a lot of black clothing. People couldn't tell that I worked there. Because I was wearing black shorts
People-
most of the weekend, so it just
I'm
blended.
gonna tell
in.
you, the amount of customers that don't realize I work there, no matter what I do, I'll sit there and I'll be like, oh, 20% off of this, 20% off of that. I will be discussing sales and stuff with other customers. And then like I sit down, and because I sat down, like customer memories are wiped. And so people will just be like looking around and I will hear them talking to each other. And it's like, yeah. It's like, well, maybe we can find someone to ask. They're like right here. I'm right here. But they're like looking all around to find someone to ask. And I'm just like, hi, do you have a question? And then they look as if startled that I exist. And then they go, oh, hi, do you work here? And I'm like, yes, I do.
I go, do you want help with it? Are you looking for anything in particular? And they're like, do you work here? And I'm like, I have an apron and everything. I literally said that to a customer.
I also like when I'm like, I check people out, and then I look at another customer, and I'm like, hi. And I like take their books, and I just say, I'm like, oh, this will be like something after tax. And they're like, okay, well, where do I check out? And I'm like, me, I am check out. So. TSR for exclusive pics of the precious table. Join the Sam's realm for exclusive pics of the table. Tina.
I think Storm is hunting my chicken tender.
Storm is what?
Hunting my chicken tender.
Okay.
Storm lost the chicken. Fox said, I too am startled that you exist. I get it. Motherfucker right there. I think one of my favorite sales of the week was when this guy was sitting there. He's like, oh man, if only they had all the volumes of Berserk. This was like the first or second day, so I still had all the volumes of Berserk. And I was like, I do have all the volumes of Berserk. And he's like, oh? And I'm like, yeah, I do. And then he's like, how many are there? And I'm like, 14, and they're all 20% off. And his friend's like, man, he's like, he said something about, you think you could afford that? And I'm like, well, it's only $560 after the discount. And it's like $617 after tax. And dude's like, she already got it all there for you. Now you gotta buy it. And he's like, I know that they're heavy. And I'm like, guess what? I'll ship it to you for free. And dude's like, she hooked you up. And then like, bet he bought all 14 volumes.
My favorite is the young woman that came up to me and went, do you have any BL? Literally, but she whispered it so softly.
BL?
Literally, boys love.
Oh.
Yeah. But she like literally put up her hand and like hunched over and like whispered it to me. And I'm like, yeah? You good?
This one guy, he was like, hi, I'm looking for like yaoi for someone. And I'm like, oh, okay, we got a lot of BL. And I'm like, explicit or not explicit? And he was like, we're talking about it. And then he says something. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, so it's kind of all mixed in. We had a BL tub. I don't know where it went. And then I was like, so yeah, to find any of the boys love, just look for the BL on there. And he goes, oh, that's what BL stands for. And I'm like, you precious bean out here shopping for a friend. One of my other favorite things to do was to be able to be like, oh, you have a question about these Chinese novels? Let me send you over to my expert.
I sold all of our MXTX stock.
She did. I was quite proud.
Which is one of my favorite authors, which does the Scum Villain, Heaven's Official Blessing, and Grandmaster Demonic Cultivation, which are all gay martial arts novels.
We also sold all our JoJo sets, I think, except maybe one or two, but I'm okay with that. Yeah. Yeah, because it was one of the part 4s, and then a part 2. But we had a shit ton of sets, so I was quite proud of that.
Mm-hmm. Are we going to do another?
I suppose we can. I'll allow it.
This time.
I'm going to disappear to spend some time with my husband, and then we'll see how I feel when I get back as to whether or not we'll stay another hour. Since somebody told me to just shut up because she needs socialization so bad.
I don't know why, Sam.
I don't know why else you would so aggressively tell me we have to stream.
I didn't.
You were so aggressive. Matt hit the deck. He was
I ran.
For
I had to
his
run
life.
away.
Yeah, it was. If it hurts you so much, you can just not talk.
That's not the tone nor the words you used.
That was the implication.
I'll do nothing to save
Intention.
Matt, I will do nothing to save you. It's like it's the whole of your own making, bro.
there's no rule here.
Your shovel, your pit. You do you.
If she just shuts up,
See, there we go. The
you
energy.
won't be afraid. It's
Getting-
not that complicated.
It's getting real deep real fast.
You know, I was just like, I'm not feeling good, so I might need to go rest. So we might actually have to shut down the stream early. And she's all like, just shut up, you'll be fine. Matt and I will just talk. All right, count us down. CB.
3, 2, 1, go. Yoo-hoo. Oh. It's the end of the sprint. Okay. Sam's talking. Man.
Yes.
Hi, Storm.
I wrote like 200 words.
Good job. I read
How about you?
I'm now at page 68. So I read around 31 pages.
Nice.
And I showed my mom my display, and she threw jeans on my bed.
I'm at a point in my edit where I was like, okay, another chapter is needed here. Oh, which is a bummer because I'm already very long. But
Yeah.
the good news is adding this chapter is letting me get rid of a different chapter. So we're going to still break even from a word
good.
count perspective. Stuff just needed to be moved around, and some scenes can be cut while others needed to be added. Well, it's because I did a whole like reformatting because like if you think of like 3-act structure, the back half of my act 1, had to do a full like restructure and everything and remove about half of it. But in that process, I accidentally deleted an entire chapter that was supposed to stay.
Oh.
This was like years ago that I did this.
Yeah.
But so now I need to rewrite that chapter. But it's good though because in this, by rewriting it, I'm going to be able to cut a different chapter that's in that same chunk.
How long is it right now? Like, how long is your doc?
That's a good question. Let me pull that up. Because right now, I'm doing this chapter in a separate doc right now. So let me pull up the current doc. That's going to take it a second to load. Because it's quite long.
My poor husband's phone just stopped working. And he is so stressed.
Damn. It is stressful.
I hate technology issues.
It's like he takes really good care of it too. And it's not that old. So this phone is like double the age of his phone.
What's the double age of that phone?
My phone's like double the age of his phone.
I bought this deodorant in Germany, and it's like liquid with a little like rolling ball on top.
Mm-hmm.
Like that. And it's so weird. I only used it like once when we were in Germany. Recent stopover in Germany, not Germany trip like 3 years ago. But it's so weird. Reinheitsgebot. Unser Versprechen.
So Jessica said, sadly, my brain is fried right now, so I'm gonna hop off. Well, thank you for being here while you were here.
Yeah.
Oh, well, happy early birthday. I'm sorry, your ideal birthday isn't feasible right now.
That sucks.
CB's exact words, well, you can just shut up then. I don't remember what I said she said, but it feels like I said something similar, so.
I finally got my document to load. The current draft, not counting the chapter that I'm going to add, but keep in mind there's a chapter that is going to be removed, so that kind of is going to break even there. Is currently, and this is again with needing a lot of cuts, 619 pages, which breaks down to 171,000 words.
You said 619, and I thought you were going to say 619,000 words.
No.
Yeah, I was like,
No, that is not a book.
619 pages.
Okay.
170,000 words. It's nothing hateful. I'd love to remove about 40,000 words or so.
Wow. I love what you're removing is the length of like one of my books.
Yeah, I'd love to get it down because I
Whatever you're
believe,
doing is like probably double this.
yeah, because I believe the standard for fantasy is 80 to 120,000. I believe.
Roughly, yeah.
Yeah, so I'd love to get it down to at least like 130.
At least for a book one.
Yeah, like ideally, I'd like to get it down even less than that, but we'll see.
Yeah.
That is one of those. I'm at least like an editor's probably gonna have to help me get it down to
Oh yeah,
low.
but
I'm hoping
yeah, but
to
you want to
personally
get
get
as
it down to like 130, 140, and then professional help can get me into the genre standards and tell me
yeah,
what other 20 to 30,000 words can go away.
yeah, and if you can get rid of those like 30 or 40,000 by yourself, then that's
Right.
less the editor has to do.
Which is good because also like it's going quick, semi well because I'm able to find like entire chapters where I'm like, okay, I can mostly remove this chapter, take a couple key pieces of information, and find a way to quickly work that into other chapters and pick up like 5, 6, 7, 8,000 words at a time.
How many chapters
That's
are
nice.
here?
I don't really know right now. When I finished the first draft, it was like right at 50 chapters, but I've since removed a good number. Let me see if I can.
Well, he does that. Tina is now officially ahead for the week on One Mystery Treat page. Nice. There was a cat.
There was. Fireball came up and was sniffing the fake plants because Fireball likes eating real plants. Storm's the one that likes eating fake plants. And so
Kelly got their
Probably.
homework done and sent off, took their meds. Awesome.
Ooh, drugs.
I'm just trying to catch up on chat real quick. You are very long, Matt, both in your work and your height. The amount of times that I turned to Sam and went, he's such a string meat. She did.
Word.
When you said professional help can get me into genre expectations, I briefly thought you meant
Yeah, I sent my manuscript to my
I mean,
therapist to just be like, hey,
probably
can you
wouldn't
trim this a little bit? But no, I just looked. It's currently at 46 chapters. Ideally, again, I'd like to get that into like the low 40s. I'd love to cut another like 4 chapters or so.
My book is currently, the outline's like 16 chapters, but it's the third act is sparse right now
Gotcha.
on the outline. So
Yeah, I'm having a lot of issue right now and have had a lot of issue since I drafted with this back half of Act 1. I feel like that's just a part in just structure that naturally seems to lag a little bit. And so I'm trying to, but it's also like where a lot of information gets introduced. So it's like, it's hard to like get that to move quickly while still getting all of the necessary information for Act 2 and 3 to happen.
my Act 3 is usually the one that I struggle the most with structuring before I get to it.
Mm-hmm.
Just because it becomes more clear as I write more.
Yeah.
But in the outline stage, the Act 3 is always the weakest.
Tina said she's actually asked her therapist, what would you do if XYZ questions for story research?
That rocks. Yeah, it's one of those things. I just really don't like expositing, but also like at a certain point, information does need to be shared.
You don't know what this world is like. I need to tell you.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
I'm leaving you two to talk because my throat is now sore.
I guess we could end the stream.
But you were gonna do all the speaking.
Yeah, but then I got tired.
CB, tell us your 500 favorite words in order.
All the time. Wait,
Okay.
I can't repeat any words.
No, of course not.
No, you can't repeat.
So
No
once
doubles.
is number 1, fitting. Upon is 2. A is 3, a little weird. Time is 4. That's poetic in a way. What's your 5th favorite word? You have 496 to go.
Mushrooms.
Mushrooms. Okay, love it. Delicious.
Agriculture.
Agriculture. I'm sensing a theme, maybe.
Alchemist.
Alchemist. Okay, still creation.
Miscellaneous.
Miscellaneous. Love it. Love it.
Mischievous.
Mischievous. Yeah.
Plop.
Plop. A great one. 490 to go. I wanted to ask.
Gina goes, I did one time have where I wanted to ask, what if a client came in the first time and they said they had murdered someone? But prefaced it heavily with, I haven't done this. Fair.
Yeah.
RP supports agriculture.
Yeah, I agree.
Transmigration, yep.
Okay, 11.
Herkel Durkel.
A classic, if ever there was one.
The cats are milling around. 2 out of 3 of our cats have automatic feeders because they're grazers, and the other one is a scarfer. Storm eats all food in sight, so their automatic feeders have a little door that closes over the food when their necklace with a little fob on it, their collar isn't right there. So the door closes, so the other cats can't come in and eat.
Nice.
But they're so used to being fed where they'll eat out of their automatic feeders, but they'll still, when it's dinner time, come and watch us. Be like, hey, you're gonna feed us, even though the automatic feeder upstairs is dispensing their food. So currently I'm being stared down by 2 cats. Luckily, well, maybe a third, but it's kind of dark in the hallway, and that cat is all black. So
mysterious.
Possibly a third. Although that's the one that figured out the automatic feeder the best because he's smart. Smart.
I got pita chips.
Oh.
Isn't that exciting?
It is very exciting.
They're so good.
I haven't worked on my book in a little while because of the convention and stuff. I'm being sick and then the convention. So I should definitely go back to doing that. But I almost never get anything actually done on Monday Lives because it's late.
That's why we have Whip Wednesday.
That's why we have Whip Wednesday.
That's why we have Whip Wednesday.
And it'll be on Sam's channel. Okay.
And it'll be while I'm at work.
You're at work?
You may have to do the bulk of it, depending on whether or not I'm back in town. My baby sister, whom is expecting again, has a doctor's appointment. So my grandmother is coming to get me and the children in the morning to go out there and help with the other children.
Fun. Okay.
Which I should be back in town, but in case I'm not, you may be doing the bulk of it.
There's just who's our Wednesday regulars? I want to say RP and I, but I think he has work.
He got a new job, so he can't come to work Wednesday.
Rowan has a new job.
Everyone's getting jobs, and now they can't spend Wednesday with us anymore. And I'm so sad.
And I'm gonna have school in like a month, and I'm not gonna be able to spend Wednesdays with us. Actually, I don't know. Probably not. I'm probably gonna have to move with Wednesday if possible. If I'm still allowed to be there.
Your Whip Wednesday will have to be moved. My Whip Wednesday stays. So every other week it will be on Wednesday. We're still gonna call it Whip Wednesday.
Time on Wednesday.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I don't know. We'll figure it out. I'm not adverse to moving mine too. I just like giving you a hard time.
Look how little this nail is.
1 to 3 Central. Or 1 to 4 Central.
So I'm wearing super long nails. Thank you for looking.
Of
Matt.
course.
Damn, that's so sad.
Anything to show my pores.
RP said, yeah, his job's keeping him from joining Wednesday or Thursday for a while.
It's fine.
Alright, well, we're gonna go ahead and cut out.
What? But we're so bustling with energy.
We
I've
should,
yawned like 35 times.
we should return to. Okay, I'm gonna preface this with an asterisk. Depending on how wiped out the family vacay goes this weekend, we should be returning to regular broadcasting next week.
Regularly scheduled programming.
Yes.
Yes. So I will see you all then. Thank you all for stopping by. It's good to see everyone again, and we'll catch you next time. Bye.
Bye.